How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. Today, I'm going to talk about how I stopped hoarding. And in the process of doing this, of course, I sold a whole bunch of stuff and made a whole bunch of money. This video is brought to you by Webull. Get 2 free shares of stock just for signing up and depositing $100. If this video helps you out, please go and sign up for it. Even if you don't need an account, you can just sign up and get your 2 free shares of stock. I want to cover why I am minimizing. Something about the allure of minimizing is pulling me towards there. I used to have 8 vacuum cleaners, a dozen computers, maybe 8 or 9 soldering irons because I'm an electrical engineer. My gut tells me that I need to minimize. I don't have a clear purpose of what I'm gonna do after this, but I do know that there are gonna be a lot of open doors if I go down this route. I'm just kind of, you can almost think of I'm preparing to move. In reality, I think of it as a way to open up more doors so that at the end of it, I know I'm gonna have a lot more options. I can indeed perhaps rent this place out without getting a storage unit and putting all my stuff in it. I could sell the place. I could also just not do anything with it. Get in a van, do van life or something, go travel around the United States or whatnot to make videos about it while I'm doing it. Possibly move to a different country even, and this is sort of like an open thing. I have not decided what I'm gonna do, but even before deciding all this, I feel like, while I'm getting there, I could just slowly do my process of minimizing, reducing the number of items I have so that when the time does come and I do need to move, then it'll be a lot easier when I do so. Now, I hate to admit this, but if someone overlooking me, have been observing me, what I've been doing, or maybe you can even do so too, just looking at the YouTube channel, that I've been talking about minimizing for like a really, really long time. And I've been talking about selling stuff on eBay, and I've been reaping a lot of rewards from it because every single year, like I think the past 3 years, I must have sold maybe like 10K worth of stuff that I just have around the house, and it just keeps on going. Even this year, even though I felt like I've sold most of my stuff, all the very expensive gadgets that's over $1,000, I've left with little things. And even so, you can see here in my past 6 or 7 months of sales on eBay, I'm still netting in about $3,000. So yeah, get rid of all your stuff. You're gonna get a big chunk of cash that that can just sit there, put it in your savings, put it in your investment bank or something, let it grow. I'm making this video because I think the process of dehoarding is very difficult, especially for a hoarder like myself. If you are a hoarder, there is some sort of psychological issue, and I have this, and I'm fighting this all my life, and I'm sort of envious of people that does not have this problem. They're born with an abundance mentality where, things can always come, even if they get rid of something, they'll always have more money to buy a new thing. If they bought something like a pair of shoes and then they have an old pair of shoes, maybe they just throw away the old pair. So then you never accumulate more and more shoes. Before I started this journey, maybe, I don't know, 3 years ago or so, I must have had 20 pairs. I laid it out, I made a video about it, and I, really difficult for me to throw away all those pairs. I guess now I have maybe like half a dozen pairs or so. So I've pared down a lot, and I want to share some of these insights of this whole step process I had to go through in order to get to this point. First, how did I get from 8 vacuum cleaners and 10 computers down to very few? Now I only have 2 vacuum cleaners and 3 computers. So the process is, I think, you got to take it one step at a time. You can't just, suddenly tell a hoarder, say, hey, you're hoarding, you're ruining your life, you're just weighing yourself down, you have, all this stuff around you. Initially would be to just kind of line up all of the same things that you have. If you have like a favorite pencil or something, you have like a dozen of them, right? Just line them up in the order of how much you like them. And then you have to pick the least favorite, the single one that you don't like the most, that you could sort of part away with. I know it's still gonna be hard, but pick that, sell it, get rid of it. wait a while, and then you can kind of feel like, oh, you know, that's not so bad. Oh, I have less stuff now. Oh, this is kind of good. And then after maybe a little while, you might be emotionally prepared to let go of yet another one. This is exactly how I did it with my computers. Sold one, and then I'm like, well, okay, you know, sell another, and then another, and then another. With my vacuum cleaners, it's the same thing. This is still not good enough, because if you have one of everything, like sporting goods, right? You have everywhere. You have to start to get rid of stuff that you actually don't use. You cannot have one of everything. If you have one of everything in the house, you can still be a huge hoarder. I also talked about sort of like a burning fund, right? This sort of, at first, psychologically helped me to get rid of some small things. Like, I like to list stuff on eBay, right? Try to reclaim the money. But if you're a very advanced dehoarder, you value your time a lot more than trying to sell the stuff, then you won't even try to sell something that is, let's say, $20 or maybe $40 or $50, right? Because you think this is not worth my time to go and take a picture of it, list it, wait a whole week to see if someone would actually bid on it. You also have to take care of packaging the thing, send it to them, and sometimes the buyer might refuse the thing. There's something wrong with it, something wrong with the shipment. You know, there's a lot of process with trying to get rid of one single item. So I talked about a burn fund. At first I was like, yeah, you know what? I am so sick and tired of my hoarding behavior, like the life that I have now. I kind of want like a life of freedom, right? It's like, hey, I'm free. How much is this worth to you? $100, $500, $1,000, right? So if it's worth that much, set that money aside and assume that you're going to use this money to buy you into a life of less material goods, less hoarding. So when you have something that, you know, maybe you're too tired of getting rid of on eBay, maybe it's a small item that it's really, really hard to sell, then you can just kind of cull all the stuff that's on your eBay listing, cull all the really low value items, anything less than $5, you know, maybe less than $10, whatever threshold that you want to set it at. Then you just go and delete those items. And with those items, you can donate them, or if you think it's not valuable at all, no one can really use it, you can throw it in the trash can. So right then and there, yes, you spent a little bit of money, $100 to $1,000, but at least you can kind of buy your way into dehoarding. You can just kind of go whoosh, you know, all these items that used to be part of your life that, you know, refuse to let go of you. At least you refuse to let go of it. So it just kind of clings to you. You can just kind of shed those away and move forward from that point. Now that was before. If you only have $100 of a burn fund, there's a limited amount of $5 things that you can get rid of, right? Essentially 20 of these items. Once you get rid of them, you're like, oh my gosh, it's hurting way too much. I burned $100 just like that. So the next strategy after you've exhausted this mental trickery, right? You're tricking yourself into dehoarding, is that once you list something on eBay, you don't know how much it's valued going to be. You don't know how much people are going to buy it for. So maybe you do some research and you go, okay, this doodad is $50. You list it, no one buys it for a week. Okay, reduce it by 10%. You know, you list it again, and then you do this for 3-4 weeks, and then maybe no one ever really wants this thing, or maybe you set the price too high. So that's why you have to reduce the price a little bit every single week, and sort of like those companies that are doing closeout sales, right? They reduce it from 25% off, 35% off, and then by the time they're almost about to close, it's like 75, 85, 90% off. And if you're doing it that high a percentage off, someone is going to want it. And if someone does not want it even at that point, then it's really, really time to get rid of it. These days, I'm able to remove a listing when it's all the way down to $8. Shipping it might cost somewhere between $4 to $8 or so. So if it's $8, I'm essentially only going to make anywhere between $0 or $4. So I am willing to just go, okay, you know, forget this. I just need to move forward, get rid of these listings, get rid of the product itself, and just go, you know, just burn it, essentially, donate it, throw it away. Now, for someone a little bit more advanced, I have seen this multiple times for people that are moving, right? They essentially give away things that are pretty well valued. For example, I've had my friend just give away a big screen TV that could easily be valued at over $500 if they just sell it. Instead, they just go, oh, you know what? I need to move like this month. That's what they had to do. So then they just essentially had a giveaway party, like a moving away party. They gave away furniture, they gave away monitor. So I just could not fathom how he could do such a thing. I guess his desire to move somewhere was much greater than the amount. So he essentially had a burn fund of, let's say, $10,000-$20,000. It's like, okay, I'm gonna just burn all of this material things that he has. He's just gonna give it away. At least it's kind of like a donation to all his friends, kind of like a farewell thing. This is a very generous thing to do. And well, it works for if you want to move very, very quickly. If you have a little bit more time, then you can sell the stuff. If you are very stringent about your time, and my fallacy here is that I guess maybe I don't personally value my time enough. I just go, okay, you know, if I can sell it for $20, I would go and package it up and sell it. So that's my hoarding tendency that I am fighting internally, probably resulting from sort of like a scarcity thing. I grew up, you know, not that well off. In my family, whenever we have something, we don't really throw it away until it is completely disintegrated. If you haven't touched something for a year, if that is the case, then you essentially need to get rid of it, sell it, donate it, or whatever. But you know, when I first heard of that, I was like, well, a year? I have plenty of things I haven't touched for like 5 years, 10 years. How am I able to get rid of something that I haven't touched for 1 year? It seems such like a giant step. So what I started doing, I guess these days, if I haven't touched it for like 5 years, it's something that I am able to easily do. So it's kind of like a gradient, right? If you cannot just jump into deep end, then, you know, it might be easier if you just kind of take little steps, right? The little step being if you haven't touched it in a longer period of time. So if you really haven't done anything with something for like 5 years, then okay, you can get rid of it, you can sell it. You can shrink it down to 4 year, 3 year, 2 year. So same thing with clothing. I recently donated a whole bunch of clothes, probably about 2/3 of my entire closet. I have a walk-in closet. It's completely packed before. Now it's just kind of sparse. I can put like one shirt, you know, about 6 inches in front of another. So it's kind of like a minimalist thing. I still have a lot of shirts, I'd say, but I'm working my way towards there. And I really hope these tips helps those who are hoarders want to de-hoard, because I know it's such a difficult thing to do. Thanks for watching this video. I hope this video helps you guys out on doing so and maybe make a bunch of money selling your stuff on eBay. Don't forget to give me a like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.